Hey gardeners, it's May 3rd. I'm in the Phoenix, Arizona area, Zone 9B. And I started my garden here about 4 years ago. Started really getting into it about 2 years ago, so most of my trees and plants are 2 years old, but a few of them are more like 3 or 4. And today I just want to kind of go through and show you my trees that I got growing on. So I'll start over here. This is my wonderful variety Pomegranate. This has been in the ground about 2 years, 2.5. And my family loves pomegranates. My youngest son steals them all. I call him the Pomegranate Bandit because when we bring these in and harvest them and cut them up, he'll eat them all if you're not careful. So you got to keep an eye on him. It's my Pomegranate Bandit. So we decided we needed another one, so we planted this one. And so this is a different variety, and it's much younger. We planted this one last year, and this is a Perfume Guy. And last year we didn't get any fruit off of it, so I have no idea what it tastes like. But it looks like we're going to be able to sample it this year. Looking forward to it. Got a couple fruit on here. They're looking pretty good. So that's that. Moving on. This is a brown turkey fig tree. Also been in the ground a year. It's putting off a ton of growth. Probably 2.5 feet of growth already just in the 2 months since it woke up. Plenty of figs on it, so I'm looking forward to these. Birds love them, so I know I'm gonna be fighting them. So I might put a net up. The tree's still small enough that I could build a net, a little frame around it, put a net on it, and keep them off there. This is my Mexican cream guava. It's been in the ground a year. I don't love the way it looks. It's kind of weeping a little bit, but it looks healthy. And it's flowering like crazy. It's got tons of flowers on it. They haven't opened yet. They'll probably be opening. They're starting to get, these buds are swelling up, so they'll probably be opening up in the next couple weeks. So I've only tried a couple of these fruit last year, and they were good, so I'm looking forward to harvesting those. This is a red Malaysian guava. This one's been in the ground for 3 years. It's a slow grower. You can kind of see it's got some fruit on it, or some buds on it that are swelling up as well. So I think we'll be able to get some fruit off this. We tried this, last year was the first year that it fruit for us, and they're really good. They're sweet, almost have like a strawberry flavor to them. So I'm really excited about those. Next tree, this is a Katy Apricot, and this tree's kind of unruly. Thinks he's the boss. But this one's also been in the ground for 2 years. And you can see this year we're going to get plenty of fruit starting to turn color here. So these are getting close. If you kind of look in here, got quite a few fruit on it. Last year it gave us one apricot, and we split it like 3 ways. And it was delicious. So I'm looking forward to trying those. Look at over here. You can see those. So that's my Katy Apricot. Next is my Santa Rosa Plum. This has been in the ground. I planted it at the same time as the Katy, but I've never gotten any fruit off of it. So it flowers a little bit. It doesn't flower a ton. And so I'm hoping to give that another year or two and hope that we get some fruit off of it. Next, this is my dwarf ever-bearing mulberry tree. This is the one that makes me want to do a Fortnite dance because it just does so well and gives so much fruit. And so it's impossible to walk by when there's fruit on it and not eat it. So and by the way, parents out there know what I mean by a Fortnite dance. All right, this is a Bonanza Peach, and this thing has been in the ground for 3 years and it doesn't grow much at all. I mean, it's, if you look at the new growth, it's just this little bit right here. So it's a very slow grower, but it puts off a lot of peaches. And so we'll probably get 15 to 20 peaches off of this little tree. So, and we got to try these last year for the first time. They're really, really good. All right. Next tree. This is a Lee Jujube. And this thing does really well in the summertime here. Gets really hot, and this is one of the few trees that will actually grow over the summertime. And it's flowering like crazy. Now, this tree and I have a strained relationship. I don't know if you can see this right here. That's a thorn. So while I love this tree, I have to admit that it's kind of a dick. Because this is my garden area, and so when I'm coming down here, in the summertime, this thing's gonna grow and kind of pushes its way into the garden area. And so when I'm coming down here, minding my own business, maybe getting in the garden, pulling some parsley, and the tree will attack me. Just like a ninja does. It attacks me, stabs me, makes me bleed. And so I call him the Dick Ninja because of that. But it's very pretty. The leaves are so green. Okay, so that's that. All right, this is a Eva's Pride Peach. I put this in the ground last year. It's doing pretty good. It was a 20-inch box, so it was already kind of a mature tree. But there's quite a few peaches on it. And they're delicious. So I'm very excited to eat these. All right, next tree. This is my walnut, not walnut, sorry. Oh, what the heck? All-in-one almond tree. And I put this in the ground last year, and it was probably half this size. And it's grown pretty well. He's putting on a lot of new growth this year. No almonds this year though. The first year, when it was just a little stick, it gave us a few almonds. And they were good and gave me a lot of hope. But this year, nothing. But that's okay. He's putting his energy into growing. And he's looking healthy. All right, over here, I kind of skipped over the passion fruit. It's kind of early. So these flowers, you can see this one's getting ready to open. Be open a little later in the afternoon. And so you can see there's a bunch of flowers. A couple there. A couple there. Back in the background. And it's just flowering like crazy. So hoping to get some fruit. We got a few, we harvested a few this year. It was our first year. And this has been in the ground for about almost 3 years. Okay. Moving on here. This is my Thompson Seedless grapevine. And there's a whole bunch of these clusters coming on. So I think I let too many of these come on. So these grapes will probably be pretty small, but they're very sweet, delicious. This has been in the ground. This is its second year. Or it's going on its third year. This has been in the ground 2 full years. And it looks like it's producing pretty well this year. Okay, next. It's my Gala apple tree. And in hindsight, this probably wasn't the best choice for our climate because we don't get enough chill hours. And if you look, these leaves, those are last year's leaves. It never went fully dormant. But it is flowering. And last year, I harvested a couple apples off this thing that were probably about that big, really small. They tasted good, but there just wasn't much to them. And so we'll see as this tree matures. It's been in the ground a couple of years. In hindsight, I probably would have gotten Golden Dorset or Anna or something that's a little bit better suited. But we're gonna keep it because it's a pretty tree. And you know, it's an evergreen apple tree because it stays green a good portion of the winter. Okay, next I'm going to show you my other grapevine. This is a flame seedless, and this is 1 year younger than the Thompson seedless, and it's giving us grapes. You see these are growing pretty well. So what I found with the grapes is they don't produce in the first year, but usually in the second year, you'll get fruit off of them. So it's looking good. All right, next tree, Washington Naval. Has been in the ground a little bit over a year. It was a 20-inch box. Something like that, 20, 18 inch, something like that. And so he's got a couple oranges forming, not tons. You see that? That is what I call a mistake. This is Buttercrunch Lettuce. Looks kind of like that in the wintertime. It's so delicious. I thought I'd let some of it go to seed, and that's how I just keep it coming back every year as I just let it go to seed like this. The problem is, you can see, started off in the garden bed, ends up over here, and over here, and in many other places that I've pulled it out already. So I probably need to take that down before all these seeds just start floating all around. And then I have a nightmare to deal with next year when they all start popping up. I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have. If you're gonna have weeds, you may as well have Buttercrunch lettuce, right? All right. This is a Tango Mandarin. And this is it's been in the ground just over a year. And no, not even a year. I think I planted this year, a few months. And so you can see it's a little bit stressed out. It'll take a little time to get established. I'm not worried about it. It was a 20-inch box. I tasted the fruit on it last year. It's just really good. Sad story time. This is a Cherry Mango. And it's been in the ground for 2 years. 2 years, and it's about 7-8 inches tall. So this thing dies back every winter because I don't do a very good job protecting it. So I get lazy sometimes, and I pay for it and I get mad at myself. So I'm really mad at the January me right now. May me does not like January me. All right, over here, these are new. This is a white Sapote. So it looks pretty good. It's taking the heat. We've been up in the triple digits already. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. If it starts looking sad, I'll shade it a little bit. Back over here, this is my newest grapevine. It's a black Manuka. We'll see how that does. I'm excited to try that. This here is a new planting. It's a Primark Blackberry. Just planted that. Pretty much everything over here I just planted this year. Here, please pardon the mess, it's a mess back here. But this is my Loquat. This is my third Loquat because I've already murdered 2 of these things. And so this year I'm trying to give him a fighting chance with the shade cloth and just kind of hoping he does well. So far so good. He's made it through the first wave of 100-degree heat. We'll see how he does. Okay, this is my star fruit. I planted this, it's been almost 3 years, 2.5 years. And it struggles a little bit in the heat and the winter. And so it defoliates and shrinks back a little bit. But it seems like it's finally getting its footing, putting off some new growth. But I haven't gotten any flowers or fruit off of this at all. This is a dwarf umbrella, also known as June Plum. And this thing puts off beautiful leaves, but I didn't protect it this winter. Again, May me does not like January me, but it's got flowers. So this thing loves the heat. It's gonna bounce back and it's gonna look great in about 2 months. This is my Naval kumquat. This one is very recently planted. I planted it last fall. And it's flowering really good. These are the sweetest of the kumquats and my favorite. So I'm looking forward to that. I also have, don't tell anybody, but I have one ripening up here. And I'm calling dibs on that right now. Probably a couple more weeks. All right, Nagami kumquat. This one's also flowering. So I'm hoping, I haven't gotten fruit off this one yet. And then the Felicio kumquat. This one's not doing as well because it has some problems down here. The trunk, it's got some damage, so I'm growing some basil at the base to help protect it. And then I'm also gonna wrap that just to give it a little boost and hope it makes it through the hot summer. So that's it. That's my trees. I might do another video of my garden beds, so stay tuned for that. But my goal when I started this project 4 years ago was to have enough trees that kind of produced at different times of the year so that I could harvest something every month of the year. That was my goal. And I think I'm on track for that. I'll have to keep everyone updated on that. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.